How you doing? It's the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Welcome to another episode of the Mike Prince Show, brought to you right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Radio Guy. Instagram is Radio Guy 22. The website is obnradio.com. And don't forget to check us out on TuneIn at Open Mic Broadcast Network. That's OPEN, capital MIC, all one word. And, of course, Broadcast Network. And without further ado, let us jump right into today's programming. Well, it was a fulfilling weekend in the world of PV athletics. Baseball pulling off the series win against Southern on the final game, winning by the score of 8-7. Softball saw the Panthers victorious over the Lady Tigers of Texas Southern 2-1. So both teams are making some progress in this final weekend of April. Baseball fell short on the Friday night episode, losing by the score of 13-3, but they were able to rebound on Saturday, winning by the score of 6-4. And as we mentioned, the rubber match was handled, winning by the score of 8-7. Made it a little tight toward the end, but they were able to hold off and take care of business, which now puts the Panthers at a 7-14 conference record. Their next series, their final series, will be against the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. That will be the final home series that coming up this weekend. So we have been making mention, and let us be fair on everything that we've done. A rough time for baseball, no doubt about it, with a lot of strange things that have been happening on the diamond. Now, however, people are quick to assess and say what's not right with the staff and this, that, and the other, but everyone has to take a portion of the struggle that this team has experienced for this 2018 campaign. And by that, I'm saying players have to have some accountability and responsibility as well. Because let's be honest, the coaches are not making the pitches. The coaches are not making the errors. The coaches are not striking out with runners in scoring position. It's an equal thing. And then I do understand that it's easier to put the blame and the criticism toward the coach than the entire team. But I think in this case, there is some equal opportunities to spread the love around. And by that, I'm simply saying that as a ball player, you have to have some type of sense of pride, some dignity, and some respect that you want your legacy to be remembered as. You don't want to be associated with being, part of a dysfunctional part of a program. And you want to be able to rise above that and put yourself in position. So yes, people will point and say this, that, and the other, but as a player, you want to have some type of pride and dignity for yourself, because they're going to be looking at you 10 and 20 years from now, not just the coaching staff, because your children and your grandchildren will say, Paul, you were on a terrible team, and everybody wants to say how good they were, but it couldn't have been that good if it was that much disparity between wins and losses. But neither that, let us not focus on that. The Panthers were able to salvage the series sweep. Well, not sweep, but they did win both series against Southern this year, which is a positive upswing. Coach Jackson, who is in the first year taking over after the legendary Kador, loses both of their series to the Panthers. The Panthers, as we had made mention, are in great position for postseason play. They are still eligible for postseason play. So with all that being said, they have to make sure that they're focusing toward this final series against Pine Bluff, and then going into the Southwestern Athletic Conference baseball tournament, which will be in New Orleans, Louisiana. So congratulations, Coach Riggins, on taking 2 games out of 1 against Southern. As we mentioned, the record is now 7-14 in conference play. The best that they could finish would be 10-14, as provided that they get the sweep over the Golden Lions. So it's still a good positive note to finish up on winning the final 2 series of the regular season. And that's what's important right now. You want to win the final 2 series. You got 1 under your belt, winning 2 to 1 over Southern. Let's go out, make sure that we can repeat this performance. 2 out of 3 would be excellent. 3 out of 3, I'm ecstatic. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be truly ecstatic to make sure Texas Southern was able to handle Pine Bluff, taking 2 out of the 3 against them this past weekend. So we'll see how Carlos James and the Golden Lions will come on the heel beginning this Friday to try to position themselves for postseason play as well. So we got that taken care of, and right now the Panthers are in the number 4 slot of the Southwestern Athletic Conference of the Western Division. So they would qualify even if Southern was ahead of them. So we'll tip our hat to the Panthers for at least taking care of matters within their own hand and continue to moving forward. And speaking of moving forward, congratulations to the Lady Panthers for taking care of business against the Lady Tigers, taking 2 out of 3 this weekend over the Lady Tigers. The Panthers won game 1 8-2, won game 2 in exciting fashion 9-8, and lost the opportunity for the sweep, losing 4-2. Now, what's exciting and interesting about the Lady Panthers, they have an 11-6 conference record. They're tied with Pine Bluff, who has an 11-6 conference record. Technically, the Panthers are in second place because of percentage points. Both teams have a game to make up, which could be very interesting to see if they actually have to make that game up. Tried to reach out with Coach Bland to get some clarity on that, but was not able to make contact with them. But right now, technically, the Western Division champion would be Texas Southern with the number 1 seed. Prairie View would have the number 2 seed at 11-6, and Arkansas Pine Bluff would be the number 3 seed at 11-6. And ironically, the top 3 teams throughout the conference are Texas Southern, Prairie View, and Pine Bluff, because in the eastern half with Jackson State and Alabama State, you have the teams at 9-4, 8-4, respectively. So the best records in the Southwestern Athletic Conference on the softball side come from the Western Division. So the Panthers celebrating Senior Day on Saturday. Miss Kiana Hunter, Kelsey Coronado, Amanda Ford, and Miss Kyler Ward Flowers, congratulating and celebrating those young women for a very successful run wearing the purple and gold. So the stage is set. We think there won't be a need to play that makeup game against Southern. We're still trying to figure that part out. But if the case, and it just might have to come to it because Pine Bluff and Prairie View both have an 11-6 record. Both teams have a game to make up, so it might be mandatory for them to get that game in to help solidify the final standings as far as second and third place in the West are going to go. We'll keep you posted on that as the time moves forward. And speaking of keeping you posted, we know that there is a vacancy for the women's basketball program, at Prairie View A&M University. Raven Justice has moved on to Sam Houston, which brought this vacancy toward the heel. And the hot name of late is Sandy Pugh. Sandy Pugh, of course, having major success at Southern University. The question that many are raising is Sandra Pugh really and truly interested in becoming the head coach at Prairie View? We've had some people comment on our YouTube channel that they don't think that Pugh is the answer. And I don't know if she is, if she's not, but the question would rise up, is she truly interested in coming to Prairie View, or could she be using Prairie View as leverage to get more money where she is? You know, that's part of the game as well. Time will tell on that. 17, 18 years at Southern University. She has won her share of championships, titles, this, that, and the other. Does she want to move forward? Some would even question, why would you come to Prairie View? That would be considered more of a lateral move unless you're into rebuilding and want the challenge of seeing what you could do at Prairie View. So I'm saying if Pugh is to move forward, it would probably be to a FBS or a higher FCS conference where she could command more money, where she could be on a upper scale, if you would, of notoriety. But it's going to remain to be seen. A lot of people in Jaguar Nation don't believe that Pugh is going anywhere. They think it's all a smokescreen that she can get more money, according to what those at Jag Nation want to believe. However, it has been duly noted that Athletic Director Ashley Robinson has drawn his line in the sand, and they have been discussing the matter, and time will tell just what's going to happen. There's another question. Is Prairie View a good fit for Sandy Pugh? Or even vice versa. Is Sandy Pugh a good fit for Prairie View? Time will tell. We're going to keep things flowing and going to see how the end's going to be. But meanwhile, I want to share with you some thoughts and comments that were left on our YouTube page in regards to Miss Sandy Pugh and her possibilities of coming to the heel. I am going to make sure that we get all of this, as I say, lined up and functioning. All right, this is coming from Factor 4789, and it simply says, I am one of those who doesn't think that Sandy Pugh is a good choice for PV. It seems to be the lazy approach in their opinion. Why not look at a mid-major coach or bring back Cynthia Cooper? She is an alumni of PV. What about Gotti, also a PV and alumni? She seems to know the game. I know she has no experience, but I think we need new blood. Sandy is just a staple at Southern, and I don't think she is what PV women's basketball needs. We have an opportunity, and we need to get it right. Now, I hear you loud and clear, and I'm all for making sure that PV reaches back to take care of alumni. However, I think we have to stop experimenting on letting people cut their teeth at Prairie View, then move on down the road. Now, I do understand there comes a time in a season for everything, and everyone must get their first shot. And someone coming from a mid-major to Prairie View, unless you're offering them an awful ton of money, why would they make that move? That would be considered a step down in most of their cases. Now, I do understand that Gotti is alum. Gotti is also familiar with the game of basketball, does a great job with play-by-play analysis, or color commentary, I should say, on the Panther Sports Network. However, she does not have any coaching experience. And because she doesn't have any coaching experience, would you be willing for the long suffering that could possibly come with that if she's given this shot and it sets the program back 3 to 5 years? Or do you bite the bullet and bring in someone? Yes, I didn't mention Cooper, but Cooper was brought up. There is a catch-22, in my opinion, if you bring back a Cynthia Cooper. If you bring back a Cynthia Cooper, are you going to be willing to deal with all that Cynthia Cooper brings to the table? Very challenging to deal with certain issues and items that could come up, not with just a Cynthia Cooper, but with any coach, even a Sandy Pugh. You bring an established, recognized coach to the program. Number one, they know how they want to run their program. Are you going to be willing to deal with whatever their requirements are to get the program to the level that they feel satisfactory with, whether that be with the monetary commitment for that individual and who they feel they need on their staff, whatever it is that they're going to need to enhance that program. So you got to have a balancing act on who you bring in, what you bring in, and how much are you willing to sacrifice in the name of winning. Because the bottom line is this: whoever you bring in, you cannot have any shortcomings when it comes to the academia side of the program. And that's what we must remember first and foremost. Students first, athletes second. And if we're not going to bring the balancing act of someone who can understand that if this is what I'm going to do, this is how it's going to get done. But mind you, I cannot sacrifice my wins for a strike against my APR. That's not acceptable. That's why, you don't want to just go get an old familiar name just for the appeasing of name recognition. You want someone who understands the dynamics of student athletics in the 21st century. Gone is my day. My day is gone. My day is absolutely gone. You cannot say certain things to players these days. You can't do certain things to players these days and expect that all is going to be well. It's a different era now. And you have to be able to communicate and understand that it is a whole different beast right now. And things are not the way they used to be. So the challenge of getting the old school coach is a gray area right now. You can got some old school coaches who can still get some things done, who can still manage to walk that fine line, if you would. But buyer beware. If it is remotely thought that you've crossed the line, I can guarantee you this: quick, fast, and a hurry. Not just at Prairie View, but anywhere in the country. You're going to be on your own when the spotlight is shone upon you. So, is Pugh the answer? We don't know. We don't know if it's whoever going to be the answer. Only time would tell. There's an old saying, you don't know if a mule can pull until you hook them up. So whomever the next coach would be, let's hope they have a system. Let's hope they have the personality. And let's hope that they have the work ethic to lead this program into the right direction. Huge weekend coming up. SWAC Track and Field Outdoor Championships will be held on the campus of Prairie View A&M University, and we will be there with a tent and microphone ready to go. We're going to be interviewing people coming and going. We're going to be out there for the event. It's going to be a great time. Coach Williams and Coach Clay, the host coaches, getting things together. The information department, sports information department for the Panthers, they're going to be working overtime. We're going to be working overtime as well. Come on out and check out our booth. It's going to be the Open Mic Broadcast Network booth, and we'll be having interviews and just having a good time talking and co-mingling with the world of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Got so much going on this week. We're going to be recapping on some more spring games. Pine Bluff had their black and gold game, first one under Coach Thomas. We'll talk a little bit about that coming up this week. Talk about a whole bunch more. And it's just great to be back in the land of Texas, in Prairie View, to be more exact. Thank you all again for your thoughts, prayers, condolences. We're back in the saddle again. And with that, I'm out of time right now, but we will definitely keep things flowing and going until the appointed time and the appointed hour. Remember to follow me on Twitter at Radio Guy, Instagram, Radio Guy 22, the website, obnradio.com. Check us out on your phone by simply dialing 605-477-5066. I am the Radio Guy, Dr. Mike Prince. As always, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.